Your mother's from Cuba. Cuba is a communist country. We live in a country that has a mixed economy that includes socialism to capitalism and the spectrum. But people frame the socialism that we talk about in America as being something that's a threat to what's here that might make it what it is in Cuba. And I don't think people really understand what happens in Cuba.
No, they have no idea. Like,
Yeah.
no idea. And that's the thing that's so comical, because if you want to know what communist sounds like, it's more like what's happening right now than it.
Yes.
Speaking of socialism, like I mean, my mother, even at a young age, was brainwashed in Cuba. When she was arrested, the guards literally went to her, she's 8 years old, and was like, "Do you believe in God?" And she said, "Yes." And he said, "Pray to God for candy." And she didn't get candy. And then he said, "Pray to Fidel for candy." And then he gave it to her. Like,
Wow.
these are things that happen all the time. Like in a communist country, like, you only get milk if maybe you have an infant, and you are given certain things. Like I have had such a privileged upbringing, and that's literally, from my mom trying to give me everything, and busting her ass to give me everything. But hearing those stories, like, no, that doesn't sound anything like what we're fighting for at all.
Yeah, no, and I think it's important to say that, because when you talk to people from Venezuela and Cuba who are traumatized and are moved emotionally, when they hear someone like AOC speaking and saying we deserve to have universal health care, they're triggered, because what happens in Cuba is considered universal health care, but it really isn't, right? So what's happening there is a dictatorship. And as you mentioned, what's happening now with our president even saying that he thinks we should push the election back, like, no, speak. I want to hear you, especially when you take a breath.
It's like every single day. I just don't understand what it's going to take for us to be like, what is it going to take for you to understand that he is the worst human to ever be in office ever? Like, yeah. I have never disliked somebody so much besides Fidel Castro than this man.
Right.
Like, it's so terrifying to me. Like, I always get sad for people that have kids right now, because like I'm at an age where I want to have children so bad, and I'm like terrified to bring a child into this world.
Yeah, it's crazy.